So most videos that you see on YouTube where people are building AI agents and AI-powered workflows, you actually see them building it in tools like N8N, Zapier, or Make.com. Well, in this video, I'm actually going to show you a AI agent building and AI workflow building framework called Mastra and exactly how I'm using it. And I'm also going to explain why, even though we do have tools like N8N and Zapier and Make.com in order to build these AI-powered workflows and agents, why I still believe that it's powerful to get Cursor and actually learn how to spin up these workflows and agents using JavaScript or even Python. And the cool thing is that you can actually have Cursor help you actually vibe code them. I did for the example that I'm actually going to be showing you here in this video. So I'm here in N8N, and I actually just wanted to explain this point briefly. So this here is my real estate assistant AI agent that I built. And it's actually my second most downloaded N8N template. And basically what I did is that I built a AI agent that has the ability to pull property rental data, property valuation data. It can help you answer questions such as if I wanted to buy, 123 Main Street and cash flow $500 a month as an investment property, how much would I have to buy the property for? And basically this AI agent here has the ability to go and pull some backend APIs, get all of the relevant property data up to date, and it's actually able to do all the number crunching for you to actually help you find that figure, right? So because this is actually one of my most downloaded templates, I've actually built it in a prior video into a web-based application using Bolt. Well, in this video, I actually built it into a mobile application, so I'm actually going to show you exactly how that works right now. Okay, so this here is the property chat app, and I built this using React Native and Expo Go inside of Cursor. And as you see, I've already been testing it, right? So as you see here, I put in a real property address and I said, how much rent can I get for this? And it actually gave me a rental amount. So to show you a real working example, I'm actually gonna come over here into Zillow. I'm gonna go ahead and just copy this property that I looked up here. And I'm gonna come into my app and I'm gonna say how much rent can I get for it? And I have the property address. And I'm gonna go ahead and send it off. And as you see, the AI is gonna go to work. And just to kind of explain what's going on here, it already gave me back the result, but just kind of explain exactly what's going on here. So when I sent this message, I'm actually sending this message to a back-end node server that I actually set up in using Mastra. And then the AI agent there is actually getting this property information. It's pulling the APIs in a safe way. I'm not directly giving the agent my secrets, for example. I'm using environment variables and everything, but basically that agent's able to pull the APIs because it's available as a tool. It's able to get back the relevant property information, and it's actually able to give me back the answer that I'm looking for here. And just in case you're curious about what that looks like, so I'm here in a tool called Railway, and as you see, this here is my backend node server that I set up. And this is exactly where Mastra lives. So I'm not gonna get too much into detail about how this whole thing functions. Just know at a high level, all it's doing is that my mobile app here is sending information to my backend. That message is being populated under my user. I'm using Supabase for authentication. So I'm using a JWT. It's sending it to my backend. It's populating this message as a user message. The AI gets it, and then it sends a response and it uploads it to the database, which then uploads it here into the app so that I, as a user, can get the response back. So just to kind of show you a little bit about how this is working. So if I actually pull up Cursor, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and pull up actually where the agent is. So this here is my master project. And as you see here, this is the route that my real estate agent actually lives at. So as you see, it's /chat real estate. And if you look here under tools, I have the Rentcast, because Rentcast is the tool that I'm using. So I have the Rentcast rental valuation tool, as well as the value tool as well. Now what happens is that when you actually deploy your JavaScript code onto the cloud as a node server, what's going to happen is that you're actually going to get a URL. And so the way that this works is that with that URL where the code is hosted, I'm basically going to attach this at the end of that URL. And that's really an endpoint for my mobile application to then call and get the information back from. And really, you can kind of do this the same way in N8N, right? So if you have a workflow in N8N, you can actually have it set up to do a webhook trigger. So for example, if I wanted to, my mobile application could have triggered my N8N instance and got me back the same information. And I could have done this whole thing in N8N. But obviously, as you know, N8N is actually not built to be a backend tool for software. N8N is really meant to be a workflow automation tool, and that's really where it shines. And that's really the reason that you want to learn platforms like Mastra. So a couple of reasons, just in case you're wondering, okay, why should I go and learn a platform like Mastra? Why can't I just kind of stay in N8N and do everything there? And here's the deal. If your goal is mostly focused on just kind of building agents and workflows to kind of serve businesses and really just automate processes and things like that, N8N is probably going to be one of the best things. OpenAI actually released their new agent platform as well, so that's pretty cool to check out. I'm actually going to be doing a full-up video on that. But there's a couple different reasons why it's good to learn a platform like Mastra, and even if you're not a developer, like I vibe coded really the back end, but there's a couple different reasons why you actually want to learn this, right? So number one is that, again, N8N is actually not built to be a backend for a SaaS application. And not just that, but it's also against their terms of service. And in the same light, you're actually not allowed to actually self-host your client's automation, right? So if you're a technology provider for a company and you're spinning up your agents and workflows on N8N for them, awesome, but that has to be hosted on the company's own infrastructure. You actually can't host it for them and kind of fully manage it. Versus if you're building it in something like Mastra, well, it's an open source, it's your code base, it's your agent, so you can host it wherever you want to, and you can kind of just fully handle it for your clients. Another pretty cool thing, and what we're seeing a lot today, is that a lot of mobile applications and web-based applications are all really just becoming just wrappers around AI agents and AI workflows. For example, Cal.ai is a really big example of that as well. Now let's get into more exciting reasons why it's a really good idea to actually learn a platform like Mastra. So as you see here, I'm on this website called API Market, and it's basically a marketplace for APIs and AI models. So here's the cool thing about this, right? So if I wanted to, let's say, take my little node server that I spun up here, and I actually wanted to take this and actually make it into a software where other developers or businesses can just kind of come on my website, generate an API code, and they can buy credits for access to really the agent that I built, well, that's possible. Right? So you can actually come on to websites like API Market or just different API marketplaces. So websites like you see here on my screen, this is Kai.ai. They actually do this, and they've actually turned this into a real business. And really all that they're doing is that they're basically playing the middleman between APIs, but it's worth it as a user because instead of me having to go and subscribe and maybe pay a monthly fee to just different AI service providers, I can actually come to a tool like Kai. I can access all the different APIs from different tools, right? As you see here, they have video APIs from Sora 2, Veo 3, Runway. They have image models from Nano Banana, Midjourney. So again, if you've actually built an AI agent or a workflow that's really valuable, you can actually come to a platform like Railway. You can actually use a framework like Mastra and deploy that and host it online, and then use a tool like API Marketplace, or even create your own website, and you can actually charge people access to really your system. Now, the second one is really, really, really exciting. OpenAI is basically looking to become almost like another app store, right? So we know that when smartphones became a lot more mainstream, we got the App Store, we got the Google Play Store, and we saw just an explosion of applications all hitting the store, and a lot of developers and software companies all making millions of dollars from actually just creating applications and putting it on those platforms where millions and millions of smartphone users could all access their application. Well, OpenAI is looking to do the exact same thing here with their Apps SDK. So if you come here on the OpenAI Apps SDK part of their website, you're actually going to see that they have a section here for setting up your MCP server. And if I scroll down here, you're actually going to see that they have some documentation linked for the Python SDK as well as the TypeScript SDK, right? And basically it links over here to the Model Context Protocol site where it actually kind of walks you through how you can actually set up an MCP server. So basically the opportunity here is that if you've actually built an AI agent or workflow that's really valuable, you can actually set up an MCP server to connect to it, and then you can actually allow other people who are actually building AI agents and workflows to actually connect to your backend system, and you can charge them access to it, which I think is a really, really, really big opportunity. And again, the cool part is that you can actually get started with this using a tool like Cursor, and you can actually vibe code. Again, that's exactly what I did for really the backend of this application. So anyway, with that being said, I will continue to be a user of N8N, but most definitely I will be creating more agents on the Mastra platform. So do look out for a future video on how that whole process works. With that being said, thanks for checking out the video, and I'll see you in the next one.